So there I was, Marty.
Yeah, so I caged this car for Ryan like 7 years ago or 6 years ago or so. And the rules that he was in, the cage couldn't really connect to the strut towers. So after years and years of him racing this thing, the chassis has gone kind of soft up front. Whenever he brought it back to me, he just really wanted to go in limited class. And it's really hard to see what's going on with the chassis. We just removed removed the new cage back out to stitch weld the whole chassis. We sanded all the rubber out and the insulation and what have you, and we've been stitch welding the whole inside with a MIG welder. And then once we get the cage back in and get the cage tacked together, then we'll drill we'll spot weld drill all the spot welds for all the strut towers, and then move them back into position, because of their years of racing on 295s has tweaked the towers. This one up 6 millimeters, inbound 2 millimeters, and it's moved the driver's side one almost 9 millimeters up and then 7 millimeters out. So we're gonna put them back to square, and then we'll do bars that go from the back of the strut tower to the front of the A-pillar, and then we'll have diagonal bars going from the strut tower to there's bar work that goes across from A to A, and then there's diagonal bars that go from the crossbar down the trans tunnel into the back, and we'll have bars going from the strut tower to that crossbar to help reinforce it and triangulate it. We've got all the bars made for the floor already. It'll have full 1 3/4 mainstays, and then we'll have 1 1/4 cross pieces. The whole goal for this thing was to make sure that everything was triangulated and square as possible. The back half of the car will have 3 separate X patterns put into the cage. One for the B, one for a vertical right above the firebox, and then a diagonal. There'll be an X in the diagonal going down. We haven't decided whether the gas tanks are going to go up front over the drive shaft hump, or we're going to put it in the back behind the rear axle line. We're going to put the motor and tranny in with the car all cut out, and then corner balance it and see what it weighs like, and make our decision from there. That's really about it right now. Still in the air whether we're going to do water to air or air to air. I'm pushing for water to air to make the engine base simpler. I guess the last thing for the chassis would be that these this material right here are the frame rails, or the frame horns coming from the engine. So the problem with unibody cars is that when you put a lot of power or put a lot of grip to the car, these frame rails pivot independently, and there's no real factory structure that really connects this other than the firewall. So what's going to happen is we have tubing that goes from the side torque boxes and then go up to that radius bar that goes up, and that will help reinforce this from up and down movement. So between having that and then having the strut towers double triangulated, that will really square up the frame horns to the chassis. The air jacks, we're still in the air. The air jacks might be going here, or we might be putting them up here like the rest of the Subaru guys do. But the problem with us is that our tires are so big that we might not be able to clear it, and we don't want to get it in the way of the foot box of the driver. So we're gonna corner balance this thing and see if we can put them here and get away with it, because that'd be out of the way and the easiest way to contend with it. I guess that's it.
Awesome.
That was a lot of information in a short amount of time.